Hello people, welcome in. This is basically a small review of all the weapons and kind of showing off a lot of the weapons in the game and the weapon types mostly. What is the difference between weapon types and what you can do in Minecraft Vanilla with, the actual Era of Kings. Era of Kings is a One Piece MMORPG and there is a lot of custom weapons in it. As an example, the crossbow, which has an attack speed and has different range that you can shoot weapons in. As an example, I would kind of show you different weapons and what they can do to basically show off, what weapon is going for you, and you can pick what weapon you would like to use normally. So there, like you see, there's a lot of weapons in the weapon shop, but there's some you cannot use it from the weapon shop. So let's start with the crossbows. Crossbows are weapons similar to bows, the normal bows in Minecraft, but they are a lot different because they have attack speed. This crossbow has a 1 attack speed, so you can keep clicking it, right clicking it, and it will keep shooting the crossbow. Although it will consume arrows, similar to a bow. A bow does more damage on average per attack speed, although it will actually shoot an arrow and it will consume an arrow from it, like you see. Bows usually, like you see, you need to charge them, and that will mean that you are walking a lot slower. Also, it has a smaller zoom. Muskets, on the other hand, has lower damage than crossbow and a bow, but it is instantaneous. Basically, when you shoot it, it's instant. It's instant when it's gonna hit. Basically, there's no like waiting. It's basically hit scan, as people say. If you know how to use, if you know how to play Overwatch, I'm pretty sure it's hit scan. I'm not sure. I'm not remember the terminology, but basically, when you hit someone with the musket, it will instantly do that, while a crossbow arrow has to actually walk and shoot towards it. He has to travel towards the place, while a musket is instant. Drums, as an example, are much more slower, but they're also a science damage based. So all three of those, the bow, the crossbow, and the saber, are all accuracy based. They're projectile damage based. They are working great with crit based. Although the drums, the staffs, the staffs, and the tom, and actually not the toms, the staffs and a few others, I don't remember, I don't think I have them on me right now, but the toms and the staffs and the loots are all science damage, as an example. So climb attacks, drums, loots, anything like that is intelligence based, like you see. They're usually requiring mana to use, but do a lot more damage than other things. So as an example, the drum, it can basically deal damage in a slash in front of you. As an example, if I will go to Arlong Park, just to check. So I will go to Arlong Park and I will do this. I'll basically go here. Sorry for the long sneak peek, by the way. I'm just showing the different items. So if I go here and I will go to here, let me see. Are they spawning? Yeah, there's beehives, like you see. So a great way to farm XP is to go here and kill the hives, like you see. Then it will spawn a bunch of bees, like you see. The bees will go after you, although the drum can do damage to multiple targets at once, like you can see. I can deal damage to a bunch of them at once, which is pretty amazing to do if you have a single ranged weapon. Drums do take some practice to actually be useful, but they are very good for clearing out a lot of enemies, although they have a lower damage per DPS from a lot of other ones. Kuma's Bible, as an example, or any staff, will shoot instantaneous, although it will have more damage than the crossbow, than the muskets, although it will cost mana / energy, as we call it in game. It will cost energy from the user. So to get more energy, you will need to basically upgrade a lot of your charisma and stamina, basically, which is extremely cool. But in general, you will need to upgrade a lot more things to be using those. Of course, there is the hammers, axes, swords, daggers, whips, all of the physical ones, which are a lot worse, but also a lot better depending on what you like. Physical ones usually require you to be very close range, but do more DPS normally, or at least as DPS as a staff, but without any repercussions, except that you are very close. So the hammers are usually slow, like you see, they have a slow attack speed. What's good about the hammers is the hammers are a physical weapon, basically a strength-based one, and the hammers, they will deal damage to everything around the target every couple of seconds. Like you can see, they will percent damage. You see the blunt force of this hammer? This has a blunt power of 3 and blunt rating of 20%. So every NPC in 3 block radius will take 20% of the damage, eventually 30% of the damage, yeah. You can upgrade this by having different accessories that do more blunt damage, but blunt damage is the most important, as this. Axes usually have some kind of a defense with them, and they usually have a lot slower attack, but although they will have a lot more damage. Axes, of course, are a type of weapon that simply does more damage per attack. There is the katanas, and usually swords, which usually have very much variety, a big variety, like claymores or different variety in the swords to what they can do. Some daggers actually counter swords, but like you can see, they basically deal a bunch of damage. What is really good about them is they usually have a simple attack. Let me actually show you. Not a red line. Let me go back to Warland Park really quick. So they will basically deal what I like to call a slash. So every time you attack something, give me a second, let me spawn a few bees. Yeah, people are, we are currently working, we are testing other things. Let me spawn a beehive, okay. So, you see that? When I will punch, you see, that basically particle effect of the crit, it will basically deal damage to anything around me. Around the, oh my god, yeah, never mind. But I think you understood. Katanas are usually faster, like you see with a faster attack speed, and usually have more movement speed. But if you really want movement speed and fast, you go daggers. Daggers have a very fast attack speed and usually give you a lot more movement. Tomes are one of the final ones we're going to show. They usually have an ability, like Grand Heal, which heals everyone around you. And whips are different melee weapons, which just have a smaller range and lower attack speed usually. And they are working from physical damage. There is a lot more types of weapons that I cannot show right now, but I think you can understand and experiment through the stat system and checking what you like for yourself. Thank you everyone. The stuff seems to be restarting the game. I will jump into the call with the stuff again. We are currently midway through working on Water 7, but we are hoping for the release of the vanilla update to be very soon. Thank you for watching this. It's been quite long, I'm sorry about that, but this should be a tutorial on every weapon and what you can do with it. Some weapons are better than others, but always count on your levels and count on what you like. That's the biggest thing.